Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well.
Welcome to the PP1 podcast.
Okay.
Oh, wrong button. Damn it. Okay. Well, we're off to a great start.
Probably label those things, Ryan, I swear.
Here's what we went to do. There we go. So, I can just edit that at the end. That's fine. Welcome, everybody, to the PP1 podcast. Pre-playoff edition, which gives me the chills. I love it. We're going to talk about the Canucks, but it's been a minute, and he's probably like, I should just accept a request so that they leave me alone. But we got a good friend of the show. He's looking like as fit as ever. He's just killing it on the country music scene.
Yeah, there it is.
Crap. Let's just keep those a little bit lower, my friend.
Do you, out there, Aaron, do you have like a solid veterinarian that you use? Those pythons are sick.
Aaron Pachette's on the show. Last time we had him, we made a bet. Oh, my mic's and all this. Last time we had him on the show, we made a bet. If the Canucks could win 3 games, he'd cut his hair. That's how bad this team was. We might need to make a bet if they win a round now, which, it's a good bet for fun's sake, but I think
make a couple bets.
Yeah.
With the hopes that something major is going to happen. Like maybe if they make it through the first round, we can make a bet. And then if they win the cup, we can make a bet.
I love that you're committing to multiple bets. This is I like this.
Stakes are high now. Stakes are high. First of all, I just want to get all the other stuff out of the way because we could just talk like it's like we're all boys here. PP1 podcast. We're on the Hockey Podcast Network, a menagerie of hockey shows. Everybody on the network is going crazy for playoffs. There's going to be watch parties. The Nashville guys, they've got shows going on. I've been checking the rundown for everybody's queue to have a show. The Leafs guys are going to be excited because they're playing the Boston guys again. There's a lot of hockey going on. This is the best time of the year. And we all know as Canucks fans, when the Canucks are legit and they're in the playoffs, there is nothing better. Also, DraftKings promo code THPN. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Aaron Pritchett, welcome back to the show, man. It's so good to see you. I've been excited all day because I just want to chat, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's been a little while, but things haven't changed. I'm still a huge Canucks fan. Always will be. And a huge hockey fan. Like you were mentioning the Boston-Toronto first round. Like what are the chances of Boston-Toronto meeting in the first round? With the old format that they had, the 1-8, the 1-8 plays, 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, etc. Is the method that I actually really like the most. But when you're seeing in the first round that one of the top teams, like a Boston or a Toronto, is going to get knocked out, that also makes me kind of happy too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing really, really well. Lots of stuff going on, and we can talk a lot of different things. That's for sure.
So we got a few things. You're back to touring. The last time we chatted, you're doing kind of house shows via Zoom and all these just some different times, really. And now you're touring again. I know you were in Kelowna at was it called My Country Bar or something? That was a month or so ago.
Yeah, it's called This Country Bar. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, not close enough. I haven't been there, so I'm gonna get it wrong.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. The big news, as far as you're concerned, because I'm sure you'll be well represented there next year in Kelowna. Prospera Place, I'm assuming, will be hosting the CCMAs.
Yes, Canadian Country Music Association's Country Music Week is coming to Kelowna for the first time ever, and I'm really, really excited. Obviously, having been a resident for 7 years, lived in Kelowna for 7 years, and who knows, I might move back. You never know. But it's nice to see you coming back to Kelowna. It's been a long time coming. That town deserves it. You guys are huge country fans, and not only that, but the entire province of British Columbia and the surrounding areas are definitely going to be supporting all the Canadian country music that's coming there.
Yeah, and this city loves you too, right? So the feeling's obviously pretty mutual. When you go to these events, to get nominations and things like that, like how does it work for when your album is released, or is there like a cutoff for when you account for voting or things like that, or is it really just up to the association when they decide to vote for things?
No. Actually, the first balloting is going out now for this year, for 2024, which is in Calgary. And they started pretty early. So what they do is they send it out to all the industry people. And as a whole, they get to vote on the majority of the awards, or they get to nominate who they want. And then the nomination process goes to voting. And there's 2 stages of voting by the industry as well. And then the final ballot is usually mentioned, or it's said sometime in late July to mid-August, somewhere around there. And then the show is in September. But keep in mind that CCMA's isn't just about the award show. It's what it's known for, I think, mostly. But Canadian Country Music Week is there's tons of seminars, there's tons of interacting that people get to do. There's a lot of showcases for new artists. There's all these different things that happen, which Kelowna can easily provide. And I've always said that too, as a place like Kelowna could easily have CCMAs because there's so many great venues there for them to play at. And then not only that, but the parties. And the parties are usually the best thing about Country Music Week for me.
We might have to set some time aside next year, my friend.
I think you're going to.
I think Ted. I think we might need to clear the schedule come next summer. I think it'll be worth being there. So there's another thing going on. I don't know if you're involved in this or not. I think it's called. Is it Boats and Blues or something? Chris Buck Band is doing something out in Lake Country. So he's basically got like a concert stage. I think it's on like a barge or something, and they're going to play in like. Turtle Bay Marina there. They're gonna have like a concert. So have you heard about that?
Yeah, basically what it is, he set it up to be a songwriting, basically a retreat for the songwriters, and then performed by them as well. Nice. No, I wasn't invited this year, and I think I was busy anyways, but I didn't get the invite, so I'm gonna have to call Bucker and give him a little tap on the butt for not doing that.
We met him during the fire thing when we all got evacuated. There's a thing at Player's Choice, and he played a few tunes for us. And super rad dude, big into hockey cards too.
Yeah. Chris is an awesome guy. I've known him for years and years and years. And my son Jordan played guitar for him for a few years when he was playing clubs back in Vancouver, and at good old Gabby's and Roosters and clubs like that were open back before the pandemic. And just a really great guy. But no, I didn't get the invite to that one. But next year he better be giving me a call.
Well, I mean, your name goes pretty far. So, I mean, we knew to give you a call. So that's right now, that's all that matters. So, guys, I want to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Obviously, actually, we got a couple of things. So the Canucks are in the playoffs. Obviously, they're playing Nashville first round. I'm excited. You're excited. I think this is a good matchup for Vancouver. It's not going to be easy. I don't think there's an easy team to play in this playoffs because it's just, the league has proven that anything is possible. First and foremost, maybe let's get this out of the way. Round one, what is the bet here? Like, are we doing hair? My wife wants this to go. So, there's a lot of.
Does that mean that if we lose, I got to shave my head? Then is that how that works?
You have to be in. I'm just going to show everybody that I might actually just pull it out right now. I think.
What did you say?
Okay, so like I got that.
We'll have to grow it out. Okay. That might be a slow process.
Whoa. So I got a lot going on there. There we go.
Yeah.
You look like Encino Man.
I feel like Encino Man.
Mine looks eerily similar to a person of history we don't want to talk about.
But what's his name? The guy in Charlie Chaplin. Same mustache. Same mustache.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin. Bingo.
There you go. Same mustache, right? Same mustache.
Yeah, I say first round. First round we shave our heads. But if they make it to the finals and actually win, have to have something else for that. But first round, let's if they get knocked out, if they don't win in the first round, this has got to go live.
Oh, so we keep. Oh, that's fine. So we keep it,
Oh no!
if they keep going.
If they lose, we got to shave our heads. If they keep going,
I don't know about the mustache. We had this question last time. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
No, I think I just saw a mustache tattoo on your finger. Is that?
Oh yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got it. Oh man, you're awesome.
I got that.
That's clever. Yeah, great decisions always get made there, right?
Great decision. Horrible.
Okay. So if they lose, hair's gone. So hopefully we're safe.
And then
how
if
do you
they
guys feel
win,
about this?
tattoos, is that what happens?
That?
If we go all the way, tattoos.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Tattoos is the way.
I'm in. I need another tattoo, anyways.
Ooh.
Yes, tattoos are the things to do, but it's got to be chosen by. Like I would choose Ryan's, and then Ryan would choose mine. How about that?
Okay.
Considering I don't have a single bit of ink on my entire body, so that could go super well.
Maybe it'll be me then. Maybe we can swap roles in that one.
I think you guys might need to. We'll see. I did say if they ever won, I'd get a tattoo. So that's the only one I'd get. So.
Well, there you go. Okay. So if you can do that, if you're into that, I'm down.
Ooh, that's some heavy. You know what? It might be worth it.
I think the correct answer is yes here.
It might be worth it. It might be worth it.
What's your reasoning for never getting a tattoo?
I mean, for the longest time in my life, I hate needles. So anything to do with that, it's
not really a needle. It's more like a pen. I feel like if you just
it's
like a pen.
But I've never really had like something I really wanted to get put on my body, like permanently. Right. So. It's I mean, I like that mustache idea. That's kind of cool. But I don't know. I've just never had that. Probably hurt though.
That hurt the worst. So I don't recommend that.
No thanks.
Being your first tattoo. Although it is probably best to start with the most painful spot to get a tattoo. And then
I guess it's a good point. Then everything else would be just cake, right?
Yeah.
How about like lower back, like cup champs on the back?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That will definitely work out well for you.
Yeah, why not? I don't know. There's never been anything that is like, this is exactly what I want. Like, I don't know. Everybody's got their reasons. I'm like, I need a reason to do it, and I haven't had one. So,
well, anyway. I mean, I've been waiting over 50 years for this team to win a cup, and I mean, hey, it's worth it. I think I would get something commemorating it for sure.
I think so. Have you been involved with the team at all in the last little while? Like, obviously now that things are back to normal, like alumni stuff?
I've done some alumni stuff. I've got a few things coming up with them. Their golf tournament at the end of the month coming up, the end of May. And a few other different events. But yeah, I didn't play hockey this year. I think I played twice. Just been too busy, obviously, with the tour and things like that. But man, it's one of my favorite things to do is go out and play with those guys and just hang out with them in the change room after and swig a couple brewskis down. And but it's also something. It was my dream. I think I told you that last time when I was on with you guys. Like, I was born in 1970, so I mean, it makes sense to. And being the huge hockey fan that I am, the Canucks are my team. It all just sort of makes sense. And knowing all the players from years past and then getting the opportunity to even sit with them, let alone be on the ice with them is absolutely still 10 years later after becoming an alumni member is still like a total thrill. It's just surreal.
I would bet. That'd be so like such. Do you still get like the kind of the tingly nerve feel every time?
Oh yeah. Every time I get all lightheaded and being like, am I actually doing this? This is crazy. And everybody's so cool. Like Cliff Ronning and I are like best of friends. We really are. We've done so many different events together, but he's a guy that I was like, I want to be like Cliff Ronning. You know, he's close to my height. I
was going to say, you're both kind of short. So
we're both kind of little guys, but we're also, he's much more obviously 10 times the player I ever could be, but we're both water bugs out there. We just
Connor Garland replicas.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way I played when I was younger because everybody else grew and I didn't. I had to find ways to get around those guys. So Cliff was my hero, Theo Fleury, and guys that were smaller, Martin St. Louis. And they're just guys to me that were like, this is pretty awesome to be able to just sit and hang with them. But then when you're getting passes from them and comes over the loudspeaker, goal scored by Aaron Burchett, assisted by Cliff Running, and Gino Ojic was the first one that I ever got. And I'm like, man, this is nuts.
This is real now. This is real now.
So I would get a tattoo if the Canucks won the cup for sure.
We'll have to plan something then. We got to start getting on this. I think.
I don't feel like Cliff ever got enough credit for because everybody talked about him being a water bug and scooting around. He was always quick, and then what a great playmaker he was. But that guy took so much abuse playing in the era that he did, and I don't think he gets enough credit for just how tough he really was and how consistent of a point getter he was for not just for Vancouver but for Nashville too for all those years, right? What a heck of a player. Was there anything was there anybody that you skated with, whether it be former alumni who was maybe better than you thought, or someone like yourself who was out there skating around that wasn't an NHLer, but you're like, holy cow, this guy has some serious game?
Yeah, there's been a few guys that have come out that never made the NHL, and I'm like, how did you not make the NHL? Man, this is crazy, I played college hockey, and then I got into business and did my life that way and chose kind of not to be a player, which is cool. I mean, that's great that people can make that decision, because the money and the fame and being able to play for something so big like in the NHL that they do, somebody decides, I'd just rather, do my business thing and have a family and stay, closer to home kind of thing, is pretty honorable and pretty awesome. But there was guys that you just don't realize. I think the thing that surprised me the most with the alumni is we would play with guys that played in the NHL that were 60s, late 60s, early 70s, and they're still out there playing. And you're like, how are you still playing? Because you're up there. And the thing is that they never lose that hockey smarts and ability of just being able to make a good pass. And that's really what it was, being in the right position. And these guys still in their 70s, we're just playing pickup, but at the same time, they usually go pretty hard and pretty fast. And they just knew, even at that age, that they were trained so much from childhood all the way up into their professional years and then beyond, that it's all about positioning and being able to make and receive a pass properly. And I was just like, man, that's because I just, I'm out there going, just with the puck, and I don't know what the hell to do with it. And then they kind of taught me, a lot of those guys, especially Cliff, taught me where to be. He's like, you haven't played minor hockey for 30 years, or so. So you gotta get to here, get to this, just keep your stick down, blah, blah, blah. And it was awesome to be able to learn from those guys, but very surprising at times to see, Gary Monahan out there. He's 72 years old. He's in way better shape than me and playing 10 times the hockey that I could play. So it was pretty awesome to see that kind of stuff.
I guess you just never lose it though, right? Like for those guys, they're never going to lose that ability. Sure, they're going to lose the speed compared to what is now, or even the last, 20 or 30 years of retirees, but they never lose out on that skill.
That sense that they have, they just know where to go and what to do. It's I'm just like, I have no idea. It's fun. It's fun playing.
So guys, season's over.
Yep.
Canucks lost against Winnipeg today, but it's all said and done. We saw a little bit more of Quinn Hughes today. It looks like we might have our first Norris Trophy winner as a Vancouver Canuck, which I think it's not a lock, but it's pretty darn close. The Canucks probably lose out on Thatcher Demko winning a Vezina, I think, just based on injury wise. But Ted, I'll start with you, and then Aaron. Like going into round one, now everything's done. We're looking at what's going to be coming. They have 7 games to win for. What do you guys like? What excites you right now? Like, what gives you, I guess, hope that, as far as round one goes, that this is going to be a matchup the Canucks can definitely take advantage of? Ted, what's like your first thing that really gives you excitement?
Well, I think it might have less to do with the opponent that we're playing. And I think you kind of outlined that earlier, that there's really no slam dunk in a first round against anybody in this division, right? In this conference. So I think the things that I'm like most excited about heading into the playoffs is like, I really feel like this team has kind of come together over the last like few weeks after like experiencing a little bit of turbulence and some up and down, and we're getting important guys back. Like Joshua sort of just comes back and really seamlessly fits into that role. Him arriving automatically solidifies this third line with like Lindholm. Demko comes back. He's looking good. He's got a couple of games under his belt. And I feel like all that time when, Lindholm was out and Joshua was out, there was like all this experimenting with lines and we were kind of changing things up. And it was really like Tocchet just like put the hammer down and was like, experimentation's over. These are the lines. We've got it figured out. And we're heading into the playoffs with really what feels like a plan and a really controlled group of players. So I think that's kind of the thing that I feel like we're hanging our hat on at the moment. But I'm just so excited to see playoff hockey again. Like, let's be for real on this.
I got the tinglies. Aaron, like what are, I guess I'll change it a bit. Like, what is the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to? Like, I feel like I know the answer, but fire away.
I'm looking forward to keeping my hair till the end of the
Touche salesman. I too have a goal.
It's funny. I think the Canucks have been waiting for the playoffs for the last 2 weeks. That's what it feels like. It's like, okay, we're through the regular season. We're not going to finish first overall. It doesn't matter. We're not going to probably finish first in the conference. Doesn't matter. We're just ready to play whoever the hell it is. Let's get to the playoffs. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Even though people have been saying, oh, well, Patterson's really slowed down since the break and he hasn't lived up to his future contract that he's going to be getting. Doesn't matter. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about winning and playing playoff hockey. Now, I think Tocchet is the guy that's actually going to be able to tell them, you guys, it's a whole new level for anybody who's never really played in the playoffs before. It's a whole different level that, this year for us, for the first time in several years, we're going to be playing 2 fans in the playoffs instead of the bubble. And I think he's going to say, you're going to get that energy from the crowd and against you in Nashville, that you have to step up and really play with everything that you have. So I think in a way, it like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, the Canucks have just been playing like they've been playing and not playing to the best of their ability because they know that the playoffs are coming and they have to step up. And for me, that's one of the most things I'm excited about, to see this playoff style Tocchet hockey from the Canucks in the first round. And I think it's going to do nothing, but I'm hoping that it just does nothing but, elevates from there and gets crazier and crazier. And, my guess, I would say, if you weren't going to ask this question later on, I might beat you to it, but I think the Canucks are going to win the first round in 6 and move on, and both of us can keep our hair.
I like that. Grant had a good point here. I just want to put this up. I was hoping you would say this, but he makes a great point about Quinn Hughes. Like, what we're seeing, like, it's sinking in, but it hasn't really. And he makes a great point. Like, he's put up a career season, matching records, and yet we still feel like there could be another level to Quinn Hughes, which we thought there already was another level. We saw it, and we're thinking, like, what is above what he can already do? Like, what if he has his Cale Makar season of a couple seasons ago and goes off like Makar did, and now, like, we get that as a Canuck fan base? Because I don't even know. I don't even know what Quinn Hughes looks like if there is another level to him, because what he's doing right now, I even said it in tonight's game, like towards even the end of the game, I think there was a power play or something, and he just made it look so effortless, dancing around guys in a mean nothing game.
Yeah, without even trying, it feels like.
No. Yeah. So it's insane.
I think this is a kind of a cool point Grant says here. Like, what does that crowd really feel like when they have your back and they're yelling out there? And I was kind of going back and watching some of the old 2011 stuff, like the CBC, the video montages they do before the game, seeing the players skate out in that crowd, just like absolutely crazy. And we've been a part of that as fans, cheering for our team, but you've actually had fans whipped up and go absolutely wild for the show you're putting on. Like, what is that like? What is that feeling like? Can you describe it?
It's a rush. I mean, you could be having the worst day of your entire life and you get out there and a crowd is like that. Everything is forgotten. All you're doing is focusing on what you do to make sure that crowd keeps that energy. And that's really all you can do. I mean, I look at a guy like Quinn Hughes, like you said, and I think it is legitimately our best chance at a Norris Trophy ever. And I think he's going to win it. But they're going to feed off that energy. I've been in I know you guys have probably been to playoff games too in the past, but I went to game one of the finals in 2011, my son and and I was so excited for him because he was like, I don't know, 11 years old or something at the time. But he, the entire crowd was so crazy with energy. And even though it was a 1-0 game for the Canucks, the energy was just nonstop. And you could tell that the team was feeding off of that. And they, every now and then they'd kind of look up. And when they're looking up, because normally they're just focused on the ice, they're looking up and they can see that the crowd is 100% behind them and that they know that they have to do the best they possibly can. And it's the same sort of feeling for me on stage and for the band. And because we're a team on that sort of ice surface of a stage, right? And our energy level raises when the crowd is that much more into it, for sure. So I think that's what we're going to see in this first round and throughout the playoffs as we go further and further, as we're going to do. And I think the energy is just going to get even more built up and surprise the team every time they step on the ice, that the energy level is going to go up even that much more. So I'm excited to watch it.
I got a question just to tie into that. So you've got your set list figured out. You've got your encore kind of figured out too. Have you played a crowd where you're just like, screw it, like, let's do 2 more songs, like, this is too good, like, I don't want this to end?
Yeah.
Like something unplanned anyway.
Well, a few things have happened. A few times it's happened where I've been like, let's keep playing because these guys are totally into it and they don't want to go home yet. Neither do we. So let's play a few more. There was another time where typically in my show I'd come out and do my full show, leave, and then we get an encore and I'll come out and do Hold My Beer. And then you assume that that's the end and you walk off and the crowd is still chanting, 1 more song, 2 more songs, all this. And you got to go back out there. You have to, because it's not that we don't ever not want to. It's that the crowd is there. We're as pumped up as you can get. And then it still feeds the energy, and it almost, even though you've done more, it still leaves them wanting more. And that's what you want to do with every show.
Hear that, Canucks? That's all you got to do.
It's all you got to do is win.
How hard is that? Come on. 16 wins, super easy. Just make it happen.
Just do in a row.
Let's just go on the LA Kings run of 2012 and just call it. Like, how hard is that to go off on one of the most iconic runs of all time? Super easy.
Be unreal.
Super easy.
Yeah.
So Aaron already called it. He said Canucks in 6. Tet, what are you feeling?
Yeah, I like Canucks in 6 as well. I think they almost have to do this, right? I think you can expect a couple of tight games from one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs. I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk at all, but I think getting into a 7-game series is not what you're looking at. You don't want to get to the point where you're playing 7 games, and I think if you're going to expect a couple of losses, you got to put this thing away in 6, and you just got it. I don't want to be even having to sit on the edge of my seat with a clinched butthole because it's freaking game 7 in round 1. Like I don't want that to happen. We had a lot of rest throughout heading into the last little bit of the season here. Guys have had the chance to recharge their batteries. Like, let's try to put them away a little earlier than not, so that there's gas left in the tank for later rounds. So yeah, I'm going to say 6 as well.
I'm going to default to this because I really like this question. Yeah, Canucks in 6 because they're both great teams. We were just going over some of the stats right before the show. I mean, Philip Forsberg, 2 off of a 50-goal season, 94 points. Roman Josi had, again, a phenomenal season, 85 points. Nothing to slouch about. Ryan O'Reilly, Gustav Nyquist. They've got a pretty good team. You got some former Kelowna Rockets on that team I really like. And I mean,
former Canucks and Anthony Beauvillier and our boy Luke Chen. Yeah,
they've got lots going on, but Grant's got a great question here. So, I mean, Canucks in 6 for sure. Let's just post this on there so everybody can see.
Love it.
Aaron, what current Canuck players would you have in what position in your band? That's actually a good question.
It's a great question, actually.
I like that. Let's
tell
go.
me you've thought of this before.
I've never thought of this before. No, I never have. Let's say, well, Demmer's got to be our drummer for sure. Because
makes sense.
Like a goalie does. I mean, they kind of, they come up with the big saves. They're the backbone of the team in my mind.
They backstop the band.
Yeah, and that's for the drummer. He's our backbone for sure. He's the backstop. But Let's see. Who would be? I have two guitar players, so I have a right winger and a left winger. Um, my right winger would probably have to be Garley, little Garland. And I guess I got a left winger and a line 2 left winger, don't I? Because I have a guitar player and a bass player. I would want. I'd probably want Dakota on one of my left side.
Oh man, he'd go
Where are you
hard.
going with this? Yeah.
And then my spare. I have two right wingers as well. My spare would be on the left side. Oh man, I don't know, because Dakota Joshua's. I'll just do the first line. How about that? Because he's solid, man. He's solid. And I guess I have another defenseman. I haven't had any defenseman yet. I definitely want to go with Hronik and Hughes for sure as the tandem, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
They just
continuity there.
The beat stays. You know they're going to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Nobody's missing a cue. There's no chords being missed. That's good. That's good.
No, they're solid. They're always on. They do the best every show. Absolutely.
So you get sick. You can't play tomorrow night. Sorry. Who takes your place?
Oh, JT, without a doubt.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. Probably a few extra swear words that you probably aren't expecting necessarily, and that's all good.
Or you are expecting,
or maybe you're expecting a few more. Yeah.
That anyway.
There you go. That's good. Great question, Grant. Great question, buddy. What else we got here? We got the predictions. We got that going. Just want to bring up quickly too, because I'm not good at promoting our stuff. So the shirts are, I think, almost ready. So if you bought one, then congratulations that you guys saw the stickers that I posted. Those are pretty cool as well. I'm just trying to see, did I even save I didn't. So I'm going to have to probably chat for a little bit, post another picture. So if you didn't buy a PP1 podcast playoff shirt from us, they're coming. We got the bubblegum pink. We got the raspberry blue with our cool hockey card pack on there. And then we got some extra stuff to send along. And if you happen to be a large or medium summer skate sandal, the first two people that buy those ones, I'm going to throw them in because I got 2 pairs left. So I don't know. I mean, Aaron, if you buy one, I don't know what your foot size is, but there's a pair of sandals in it for you. But folks, get on it. It's going to be something cool. We're going to try to have those going in Player's Choice in town here as well. But very cool. Something that we can get behind and kind of show off our background of all the fun stuff we've enjoyed. And obviously it supports the show. 5 years. After this is all said and done, we're going to year 6. Can't believe it. Year 6, and we've never had a true playoff run. So this is year 5. This is where things get crazy. So I think it only makes sense that we come out with a really cool shirt and something that we'll be wearing hopefully downtown Vancouver end of June, I think is the plan, as far as I know. We missed you. Sorry, you cut out there for a second there, Aaron.
Am I back?
You're back. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you talking about with 6? What did you mean?
Oh, well, next year's our 6th season, I was saying.
Your sixth season, man. That's crazy. I was on with you guys, and that was 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that was year 3.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, congratulations.
So here's the shirt. You're going to definitely want it. It's going to cover your face, unfortunately. Yeah. But we got that guy. I'm going to maybe try to find. We're going to get back to our thing here for a second. Where is my little button? There's a button. I'm going to try to find a bigger logo that we can cover Aaron's face again one more time, maybe. I don't like doing that, but it shows off our cool stuff. So, because Aaron, he's busy. He doesn't get to check out every show. Here we go. This is what's on the front of the shirt, my friend.
I love that.
So, kind of fun.
With that style of packaging, it's great.
Yeah, kind of cool. AI, go figure.
Yeah, the old OPG with the gum you can't eat.
Yep. Yeah,
exactly. So those will be ready shortly. We'll be rocking those everywhere. You know what? We don't talk about this enough because we could usually care less. Let's have a little chat about the Leafs and the Bruins for, what is this, round 10, I think?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I'm excited because I don't know. It's so funny because Toronto takes such a beating by, West Coasters, anyone else in Canada. But this is the year where I look at it and go, okay, there's 4 teams in the playoffs for Canadians, and the Montreal Canadiens are not one. But I think if Toronto's got a pretty good team, and if they actually can play like they're supposed to play, as good as they should be able to take Boston in the first round. Boston is, they've got a bunch of older guys, but the guys are still phenomenal players. It's unreal. So hopefully, I would actually like to see, I can't believe I'm saying this, I would actually like to see Toronto make it through the first round and actually go a little deeper than I'd like to. I wouldn't have a problem with Toronto-Vancouver final at all.
I don't think, if we're talking that already, that would be
I don't think
divided.
That is crazy talk. Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
We're going to cut the country in half.
Forget the election in November. Forget the elections, folks. This is what's going to divide the country. I think that would be the ultimate. Hey, that would be the ultimate. For Canada anyway. I think the NHL would be like, shoot, we really got to award this to someone in Canada this year.
Yeah, we have no choice now.
Yeah, all our American viewership out the door.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know that it could be a good. It could be. I think Aaron, you're right. I think it could be a really good matchup for Toronto. Right. The team is younger. I think they've been bitten a lot in the last little while. And I think if you had a choice and it was looking like they were going to play Florida for a little while, I don't think they wanted that either. So this might be the matchup that they whether they want it or not, maybe it's the medicine they need, right? I think if they do get over this, like almost like a Slay the Dragon thing, right, with Chicago and Vancouver a couple of years back, it seems very familiar.
I was thinking that too.
That wants to get over the hump. So yeah, it could be a really exciting series. I think in the East, I'm going to be paying attention, and I don't go out of my way to watch Toronto games, and I certainly don't like Boston. But I think there's going to be a lot of animosity in this series. It could be a lot of fun.
Well, they need to play pissed off.
Yeah,
they play mad, and because they've been too laid back for a long time. And playing in Boston in the playoffs, they've just taken them too lightly, or just been, I don't know what they were doing, but they gotta play like they're mad.
Have you caught a lot of hockey this season, Aaron?
Actually, I have. I've even on tour we had a satellite TV that we watched as many games as we possibly could. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of hockey and especially following the Canucks, obviously, but Edmonton too. I'm a McDavid fan. I really just love that guy's playing. So I've kind of followed them, but not really a Oilers fan per se, but trying to keep up with everybody in the league and just making, sure I'm on top of who's doing what. And so that when the playoffs come around, I know who's playing well and who's not. So as long as nobody gets injured, the Canucks should be okay.
Aaron, is Edmonton the scariest team in the West? Is that the team that nobody wants to play, or is it like a Colorado? What do you think about that?
I think it's Colorado for sure. Colorado and Dallas. To me, Dallas is they I don't know. Again, a bunch of older guys on the team, but they're juggernaut. Edmonton to me has always been so volatile. They just seem like, they have such a great team, but for some reason, besides McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman, they're almost thin, and yet they're a big team, which is really weird. Like, I just don't know if their third and fourth lines are going to be able to take on a Colorado whose depth is, to me, a little bit greater. So I don't know. Everybody's been talking about Edmonton all year being like, yeah, they're the team to beat, that really when it comes crunch time in the playoffs, but they haven't really been able to prove that even in the playoffs in the last few years, and not much has really changed that much anyways in their lineup. So see what happens. I think Vancouver would take them if they play them, but Colorado to me is really above Dallas too. I think Colorado's the toughest.
Yeah, I think Colorado is going to be the toughest. I think they're still going to probably be the toughest team to beat. If Edmonton can get to that next round, you got to look, and let's say Vancouver, let's say they're facing off against each other. Now you're taking Vancouver against it. If both of those teams are through, though, they've already been like the round one has been proven to be, the wild, wild west. Everything is, everybody goes to, 11 at that point. and you get through round one, and everybody seems to calm down for round two. What would a Edmonton Vancouver round two look like?
I don't know. I could see it being a really crazy rivalry type game, type series, I should say. Yeah, I personally, I think it would be amazing. But the problem is that they would probably beat each other up so much that whoever gets through that round is going to have a tough time with the next round because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can all hope. Grant's got Nashville round one, Edmonton round two, Winnipeg round three, Toronto in the final. It could happen. It could happen. He's got another one for you here, Aaron. So Salt Lake City, that's official today. Have you played a show in Salt Lake?
No, I've flown over it. No.
There you go.
It's a really unusual place. Like I was trying to think of names that they would call themselves, and there was one that's out there now. It's the Utah Yeti or something. Is I don't know for real, but I was laughing at because there's such a huge Mormon population, the religion Mormons, and I came up with a lot of very unique and interesting team names. But I'm really interested in seeing how that happens, and what it's going to be like.
I got a question for you. This just kind of spurred me. Have you ever made or maybe you've got these kind of sitting alone that you don't normally play to a crowd? Do you have kind of a hockey song or like a playoff song that you would have that's just you've workshopped it for a while and you're like, you know what? Now's the time to bring this out.
I have, but it's so hard to write a song like that.
It's a weird thing, right? It's a weird thing. I get it. We see these, you see these songs that get posted on the videos. I'm sure we've all seen, and they're kind of kitschy, they're kind of awkward, but something I guess it almost have to be anthem-y kind of, right?
It has to be anthem-y, and actually, I have a song called "Let's Get Rowdy" that I came out with years ago. That I did a hockey version of it, but I lost the lyrics, and it was actually pretty funny. It was not just funny, but it was anthem-y, sing along. Mm-hmm. Would have been great to do a version of that. And I wrote the song originally, so I wouldn't have a problem rewriting it to a hockey version. But yeah, I remember talking about in the lyrics, there were things about hockey moms, and I don't know, just kind of it went on and on, but it was really good. But no, I've been writing a song that's not cheesy, because everybody just seems cheesy unless it's, I don't know, you really got to be able to hit the mark on that. But
it can't be folksy either. It can't be you can't kind of tie into some of the old nobody would want to tie into the hockey song, and it kind of has to have its own legs, right?
Yeah, it's got to be its own thing, I feel like.
Well, who would have thought that Nickelback's Elton John cover of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting would be?
That's a really good point.
It was it worked out perfectly for the NA, or what Hockey Night Canada, I guess, used to play it for quite a while. So
I mean, I would have thought that personally, but that's me.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at out of town scoreboards. Obviously, we're in the first period for Blackhawks, Kings, and Ducks and Golden Knights. I mean, I think seeding is going to play a big role in this one, depending. So if the Golden Knights win this game and the Kings lose, that means that the Kings are going to get Dallas, and the Golden Knights get Edmonton, or vice versa. I think if both teams win, then everything stays the same, so on and so forth. Do you have a preference out of these two matchups? Where do you want to see the Golden Knights play? Do you want to see them versus Dallas, or would you rather see them play Edmonton, or is there do you want to watch the Kings play somebody specifically? Thank God it's not us.
Yeah, I'd like LA Edmonton.
Okay.
What has been the last couple of years? They've had the first round series, and
Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that could be it could be a really nasty series, I think. But I'd like to see Vegas play Dallas. I think Dallas will hand it to them personally, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I think LA Edmonton would be pretty fun to watch, because that's got a lot of intensity to it.
Yeah, what a trip, eh? The last wild card seed could be the former Stanley Cup champions playing against the one. How wild of a Western Conference is. It's insane.
Yeah, what a great, that's it's been a really, really awesome season to see all the up and down. The Canucks were first place overall after the Christmas break, and into the I think even into the All-Star weekend, and then all these other teams everybody just kept playing so well, and the really crappy teams really started playing. It's like there's no middle class. It's either you're the best, one of the top 10 best, or one of the top 10 worst, and there didn't really seem to be middle class, and everybody else was fighting for those wild card positions. It's pretty fun to watch. So yeah.
Well, you look at Pittsburgh and Detroit and Washington and Philly the last like week and a half, like every day come to work and we're like, well, if this and this and this happen, like these guys, like everybody's playing leapfrog, and you're thinking like, if one of those teams, and you don't even know which one at the time, if one of those teams makes it in, like, are they dangerous all of a sudden?
Yeah. I don't know. What's your most underrated team that you think is going to make a bigger impact that's just making it in on the wild card side?
I mean, Washington, maybe. Like, wouldn't that be something? I don't know. Like, there's something funny about them. Like, I don't know. I kind of look and I think like maybe there's an upset there. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that'd be probably the most underrated.
Yeah.
A team I can think of that's just making it in. What about the Islanders?
I think they're going to get beat by Carolina.
It's just going to get rocked.
I think so. Yeah.
Everybody's calling it like the gentleman series. Like we're gonna beat you in 4, but nicely.
Yeah, we'll be kind about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll go out and say it. I mean, I think that team that could surprise in a wild card bracket would be in Nashville. I mean, I don't want to say that, but that team is very eerily similar to how this Vancouver roster is constructed, right? Like, that's a team that really wasn't supposed to do a whole lot this year. I mean, it's like a year ago they were talking about selling off top. I think were they talking about trading? Like Saros was like a guy that was on the trade block at one point, and now here we are. They're a playoff team, and I don't think their story is a lot dissimilar to ours, right? And when I say ours, I mean the Vancouver Canucks, obviously. So that's a scary team, and I think Aaron, you're right. I mean, they're going to have to come out ready to go, guns blazing, to play this squad, and I hope they beat them in 6. Because this is a scary squad. I don't want any part of this team, and I think they're more dangerous than in LA. And I respect this team just as much as I do, looking at a Golden Knights team. Like, this is a well put together squad. I think talent wise, we're better on the top half or the bottom half than they are. I think we're very similar in the top half, but that could be a nasty wild card team. And I don't like saying that, but I guess it's the truth.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're loaded like Vancouver is. You're right. Yeah, I'm really curious. I was just going through all the teams that they potentially could play in the next round, or this round, next round, and third round, and I'm not afraid of anybody until the Eastern Conference, till the final. If that's as far as they get, then I'm definitely worried about some teams, but until then, I see them being able to get through these series.
So you've been a fan longer than we have, just age-wise alone. We've been talking about this all year on the show. The Canucks have gone from, trying to get the first overall pick to trying to be the first overall team, and it just kept getting better and better and better. And everybody's waiting. Well, if they haven't dropped off by this point, I mean, what's been going through your head this whole season? Because I'm sure, like, we all feel a little differently about this. We talk about it every week, so it's a little bit different. But like, what's going through your head this whole season as the Canucks are like making this run? Like, what feeling have you had? Has it changed?
Well, it all started when I went to the very first hockey game of the year, when the Canucks beat Edmonton 8-0.
Oh man,
that was a good game.
Well, there's nowhere but down, and really, that's probably what's going to happen this year. So I didn't put a lot of merit into it because of, they made some lineup changes for sure. They added some pretty great players, but I didn't realize, what kind of an impact they would actually make in the season. And then they kept winning and winning and winning. And I'm like, well, okay, well, it's November, it's the end of November and they're still doing well, but they'll implode. And my expectations were really low. And even after the Christmas break and then going into the All-Star break, like I said, where they were still in first place overall, I'm like, there's still an implosion yet to come, but it never happened. And I wasn't being negative. I was just being, that's what I was so used to with this team. And and all the highs and lows that I've been through with them for all these years, for decades and decades, where they've, you think they're going to be so great and they're going to win the cup, and then, you blow it in game 7, and that's what I was waiting for, was the implosion. But I think what my mentality now with this team and with the season, and with probably seasons coming up, I think, is that I'm only going to be able to go, get to a certain level of excitement before I just go, I got to shut this off because it beats me up too much. My expectations are getting too high. So I don't want to get super excited. And even though I say I could see them getting through all these rounds, I don't expect them to. I'm just hoping that they do. So yeah, I mean, it's been really exciting to watch all season long, where they're just consistent. And even when they have a bad game, it's like, okay, we realized we had a bad game, and okay, yeah, we lost 3 in a row, but that's not going to happen again, which I don't think it has. And they just kept their foot on the pedal and went, let's learn from our mistakes. Tocchet is definitely, he's got to be the Jack Adams winner this year in my mind, because he went from the team that he had last year to the team that he turned it into this year. And that is all mindset. It's changing their mentality and making sure that they don't give up. And I think they're teaching us fans to not give up on them either.
Man, so well spoken, this
Wow.
guy. Jeez. I feel like you should, get up in front of the class and, make sure we're all get our homework in time.
I feel like Ron Burgundy in Old School. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow you just made me feel real good about the whole thing.
Get some leather-bound books out, folks. I think Aaron's onto something.
Yeah.
Aaron, we're going to let you go in a second here. We obviously appreciate you coming on. What's going on with you? Is the reno done? How's Sarah? You guys, is everything still humming along over there? Or that's a loaded question, right?
Yeah,
how's the reno? Let's start with that.
The reno's done, and we moved in October, and we're just seeing, we're feeling around what I'm going to be doing with the house right now. I don't know it quite yet, but I'm looking at options of possibly moving up to a place like even Kelowna. To be honest with you, I'm looking at places up there, and have been for a little while. But there is something really major going on. I don't know if you guys are okay with me promoting this. Maybe you can
please.
Man, this is whatever we want it to be. Go crazy here.
A pretty major event for me that's happening May 19th at the Rise at the Revelry in Kelowna.
Yeah,
yes.
My cousin, my first cousin Danielle, we're all really close. My siblings and my cousins and all of us are very, very close. Her son, Kalen, was one of the 5 who passed in the crane accident a few years ago. So what's happening is the families and everybody's trying to raise money for the memorial that's going in at a park in downtown Kelowna. So myself and a guy named Jason Parks, who owns a few wineries out in that area, who I went to elementary school with up in Kitimat. He owns a few of the wineries around town, but he also has his band called Proper Man. We're all going to be playing a show on May 19th at the Revelry for the Rise, which is what the memorial is called. So I'll be in town, and tickets are $60. You can get them online through, I think, the Revelry will have them on their website, but doing some more promoting for that. But I just got told today that it's confirmed that we're going to be doing it. So I'm looking forward to come back to Kelowna and helping raise a bit more money to get this memorial installed in the park. Well,
let's make sure you get us a link. If there's like a page or whatever, we'll make sure we're sharing that as well. That's what we get to do. We've always said this is whatever we want it to be. So more than happy to make sure we're promoting that. Obviously, we're living here. The day that happened, that was a pretty catastrophic day. So, and just heartbreaking too, just knowing that the everything that happened. So, very cool that people like yourself get to be able to use your platform in a way that is helpful. We try to use this as a platform occasionally if there's an opportunity, and I mean, by all means, we're going to make sure we're going to share the heck out of that. So if you need a place to have a barbecue, I got a pretty sweet backyard you can hang out with the day before. So
hold you to it.
Putting green, gazebo, fire, man, we can make a good time. Teddy, it's a good time.
It's a good time. Yeah, I mean, even with Ryan's super weird cross-handed chipping that he does.
Oh yeah, you've seen
more
my golf
importantly-
videos, Aaron, right?
That
Have you seen my golf videos on the Instagram yet, or what?
didn't know you did crossover hand swing or
Yeah, I hit cross-handed.
It's weird. He makes it work, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So I mean, really, in all of this, I heard that it's possible that you could be moving up here, and what I know is that we have an extra slot open on our ball team, and I feel like it's waiting for you. So,
all right,
whenever that happens, we'd love to have you come out and play a little ball with us too. That'd be a good time. I feel like.
all right. I'll buy some cleats.
Okay.
Done. Well, folks, we're at that point in the show. I think we can all go our separate ways. We got a wicked weekend coming up. I got to go coach some baseball. It's gonna be a good time. Playoff hockey on Sunday night. We've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun on our show on the PP1 podcast. Again, Aaron Pritchett. I mean, it feels like no time has gone by at all, and it's great. Ted and I always like having a chat with you. It's very easy, very fluid. Yeah, it's good. So I guess I'll call it on behalf of Ted and myself. I'm Ryan. We got our good buddy Aaron Pritchett, friggin' country music legend. Says so in his name, so it has to be true. This is the PP1 podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Folks, it's time for playoffs.